Hello everyone! As well as struggling with eating, like binge eating and food addictions or any kind of destructive eating behaviours, do you suffer from persistent problems? Things like stomachache, headaches, struggle with sleeping, aches and pains, asthma, or anything like that. Things that you can't get a resolution for. So you're maybe have medication every single day. You have to go to osteopath, physiotherapy, acupuncture, or using elements, I don't know whether herbal, whatever it is, to try and ease the pain or help the problem. This video, I'm going to share with you something really interesting that keeps coming up with my clients, and how these other problems are directly linked or are connected to the problems that you have with eating. Before I go into that video, if you haven't met before, I am Mel. Hello, and I am a rapid recovery rebel, and I help people who suffer from binge eating to stop rapidly without the traditional therapy, like long-winded therapy. So what I discovered with working with hundreds of clients is that many of the things that you may be suffering from, like your aches and pains or consistent illnesses that you cannot resolve, or things the doctors are not quite sure where the problem is and they suspect it's this or that, but no matter what they do, they can't fix it, they can't resolve it, they can't get rid of it. So the best thing that they can do is just give you tablets so that you can actually live without the pain or be able to sleep, because it's really, it's difficult for you to sleep without those medications or without those other remedies that they suggest you do. So my latest client, she had fibromyalgia. It's a common problem that is amongst many of the people that I worked with, especially with excess weight, especially with problems with eating, compulsive eating and binge eating in particular, because of the connection it has with, the emotional reasons behind them doing it. And the reasons why I say that is because not through textbooks, not through what you read in medical books. Please bear in mind, this is what comes up again and again and again after working with hundreds of clients. And it's not that I don't, I'm not saying anything against medical advice or what it says in the medical books. Please don't go away and think whatever I'm saying is gospel, because I'm not really interested of what the medical books write in there. However, I am interested of what is really going on behind every single person that I work with. I don't work with a symptom. I work with the person every time they come through on my internet call. So what I mean is I don't work with a symptom. It's like when you go to the doctors, for example, when you go there and you say, I've got a headache and I keep having headaches, what the doctors would do is that, I'm walking on very dangerous grounds here, but I am just doing for argument's sake, he would just give you a tablet. So he's actually dealing with the headache. If you get a good doctor and you keep constantly having headaches, he would then send you off to a specialist, get it examined and everything. So that's how what I'm talking about is the symptom. The symptom is actually the headache itself. When I work with my ladies, with my ladies and men, actually, I don't know why, because I've worked with lots of women, I always say women, but what we do is together, we find out where the origin of the problem is. So even though on the surface it looks like that you have a problem with eating, it looks like that you're out of control when it comes to eating, or you're attracted by a certain amount of food, you're triggered to eat more than what your body naturally should eat at certain times. These are the symptoms. The actual eating, the binge eating, are the symptoms. What I do is I get behind what is it that is driving that person to eat. And it's the same, going back to the original of the video, it's the same with the problems that are connected to the eating. So the lady that I was talking about just a moment ago, she has she had fibromyalgia. She came in, which is a typical symptom, like I said. And after we worked together and during the investigation on where the origin of this problem is, because she was fed up, to be honest. She's seen doctors, she's on a waiting list like forever. They keep throwing her like medication after medication, and it just, she says it affects her mentally, because not only does the medication take the edge off, it doesn't take away the pain completely. It just allows her to be able to move around. Otherwise she would just be bedridden. She's tried acupuncture, and she says it's great only for like maybe a couple of days, 3 days maximum, and then the pain returns. She's tried like herbal stuff, and she said, yeah, it's okay, but it really only just takes the edge off for a little while. She's tried yoga. I don't know if any of that kind of resonates with you as well. You've tried everything. And what it is that it's like I said about the headache, the persistent headache. All these remedies are great. They remove the pain for a short while. But what it is almost like brushing the pain under the carpet. It's like it's not getting rid of the pain. It's not getting rid of the fibromyalgia. It's just covering it up under the carpet for a little while until it starts seeping out of the carpet again. The pain starts coming out again. So that's what happened with my lady. And she's trying her hardest to do the things that she loves in her life. She's a very active woman, but she ends up being pretty much disabled because she can't move. So amongst like helping her with the eating side was fine, but then she was getting really low because she couldn't move. She couldn't really enjoy her life because she couldn't move. So when we went into the session, and part of and the success actually of why the method that I use, the rapid recovery, is that we deal with the origin of the problem. So when we dug deep, what we found is it was the body's way was stopping her from doing everything for everyone else. And what I meant was, with the way that we investigate the origin of the problem, it transpires that the body was stopping her from overgiving. She said that, you know, as a outcome of the conversations that we had during the therapy, is that she always would give herself, like, her time to everyone else, like her daughter, her sister, her family, her friends. She would always put herself last. She is what we call a natural carer, caring for everyone else but putting themselves last. And one of the things that came up in the subconscious mind was that she never gets to do anything that she loves because she's always giving all her time to her loved ones. And whenever she did take some time, like to do all the things that she was passionate about, like her little hobbies that she loves, I don't want to go into too much detail because I want to kind of protect her identity, but she didn't even have time to do the things that she loved. So the body was creating all this fibromyalgia to stop her from putting everyone else in front of her. I know it sounds woo-woo. And the funny thing is, the doctor had told her that she shouldn't really be sitting down too long because she would be in so much pain. So, but then she shouldn't like be, you know, running around everywhere because that would be giving her pain as well. It's kind of like a little bit of a contradiction. And so she said, well, I can't sit down for too long because the doctor says that if I sit down too long, I'll get pain. And I have been getting pain. And the funny thing is the session did last for, sometimes our sessions go for 2 hours because we really, really, really want to get down to the nitty gritty. Where is the origin of that problem? I will not let go of any of my clients until we get to the source, we dig it up, we make sure that that is healed, repaired, or upgraded, or whatever that needs to happen so that my clients get results immediately. I will wait, I will sit there as long as it takes. So, and the funny thing is, all this time she believed that sitting down for too long would give her pain. When we first started the session, she said like the typical symptoms of her feeling pain from her shoulders, her legs. By the time we ended the session after 2 hours and I said, how do you feel? And she said, relaxed. And I said, how about the pain? And she said, there's no pain. I said, isn't that strange? You know, even doctors, professionals are telling you that you shouldn't sit down for too long because you will get pain. But isn't that a bit contradictory, because you've been sat here for 2 hours? Have you had any pain? And she went, no. And I am not making these conclusions up. And every time we talked about the times where she was giving too much of her time to everyone else, the pain would rise up in her body. It was really crazy stuff. And then every time we talked about giving her time so that she could have some of her life back to look after me, the pain would go away. So all this cannot be done on a conscious level, obviously, because if we could always all do this on a conscious level, we know what's right and wrong. We know that eating healthily and moderately is the right thing to do, and yet we don't do it. We sabotage ourselves, we binge eat. So these are the things that sounds really simple when you are in the right state, in the subconscious state, to be able to make those changes. And because we were able to find the very root of the problem, the pain goes. But on a caveat though, the body is always trying to communicate with you. So if you're not listening to your body, then the pain will persist until you do. So even though the pain is gone now, let's say, for example, like my client did say that I am going to I really want to put myself first. I want to look after myself. I'm going to stop giving all my time to everyone else. However, if she starts slipping back and forgetting herself, I wouldn't be surprised if the pain comes back, because I can stop the body from doing its number one job, and that is to protect you and to make you really happy. And that's what I do. I think if you can put it in a nutshell, what I do for my clients, I align them with their true self, because I do believe every single one of us, no matter who you are, has your inner soul that wants to make you happy and aligned. And all the time you're feeling anxious, all the time you're feeling tired, aching, pains, it's only that part of you that wants the best for you. And the way that I explain it when I work with clients, it's that voice that hasn't got, it's the words of wisdom actually that hasn't got a voice. And that's what I connect during the sessions with my client, is to connect you with you. So yeah, have a look in your life to see if there's anything persistent that's going on. Because when you're aware of the things that are persistent in your life, you might get an insight of what your body or your mind is really trying to show you. So I hope that maybe that video has kind of started some cogs turning in your mind to help you with your recovery. And I do believe that information is power. When you know what's going on, you can make the changes easier. But if you're still struggling to make those changes, you know where I am. I am Mel, and I am the Rapid Recovery Rebel, because I help hundreds of people who've been suffering for years and decades of binge eating and destructive eating behaviors without all the traditional long-winded therapy like meditation, breathing exercises, mantras, journaling, or even meal plans. So until tomorrow, take care and thank you for watching. Bye bye.